Action. Folks, today, welcome. Another episode. Here's what we got going for you today. Biden wants to buy kids chest binders and strap-ons. I can't get through that one. Jim, and it's Jim's story. Biden wants to buy kids chest binders and strap-ons. Turns out we do negotiate with terrorists. We'll tell you what that's all about. Another damn flip-flops. The lesser known terrorist group funding the U.S. protests. Biden agrees with Trump after all. Ohio cleans up their voter rolls. Student loan rates increase, and we wonder why. And Bidenomics strikes again. Of course, of that, plus everything that's going on the bullshit bogus trial in New York. On another great episode, Jim, of You're On, brother. What?
Two guys.
It is.
One coup.
Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Jim, you didn't say like, follow, and share on Rumble. Like,
You just always have to point out that. Please like, shall,
shall,
and share.
We're going to speak the King's English from this point forward.
Like, follow, and share on Rumble.
You're not supposed to say it until after we come back anyway, so you're doing the right thing.
For the time being, we are still on YouTube, and I am very, very surprised. I'm very happy about that. Yeah. And also,
I'm happy all three people are watching on YouTube. That's great.
You can listen to us on any of the networks that offer that. Boy, that was terrible. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or all the other sites that you could listen to your favorite podcasts. And why not be us? But as we like to say, who doesn't want to look at this?
Well, it's just pure eye candy. It's enjoyment for you. And folks, you're welcome. I mean, it's our civic duty.
Every time I look at you, I get a tingle up my leg.
Oh, boy. It's just, wow. You're the Chris Matthews of podcast. Look it up, kids, if you don't know what that's about. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. This whole Trump trial thing. I mean,
even the Dems are saying they can't believe it's not been thrown out yet.
There's no way all 12 of them would even consider the fact that they put Michael Cohen on the stand. Michael Cohen says, yeah, I'm the guy who did it all. But it's Trump's fault.
Well, it's funny because
Trump is not his bookkeeper for his company, is he? That last I saw.
No, but what's funny is everything's listed. Everything is listed as an expense towards your attorney fees,
which is what happened.
But just because Michael Cohen says, but I was told to use this for. Don't we need evidence? I mean,
there's no evidence of it. Now, Chris Cuomo says, there's the evidence. The fact that Stormy Daniels' name isn't said in those videotapes is the 100% fact that Trump knew where the money was going. First of all, does it matter? There's still not a crime. I don't care if he paid hush money it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter. There's no crime. Hush money is a very, very sleazy way of saying non-disclosure agreement. That's all it is. Pretty much. That's all it is.
And
unbelievable.
And it would surprise me more than anything is a billionaire.
Yeah.
Tried to sleep with a high-priced prostitute. That just blows my mind.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
that doesn't happen every day.
And then offered up $130,000, which is like $1 to you and me. Less.
Yeah, pretty much.
And she accepted it. And now owes him $500,000. But these are their star witnesses, Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen. These are their star witnesses. Unbelievable. Well, guess what? Trump has a gag order, can't say anything about it. The most unconstitutional thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. But he has friends in the courtroom, and the friends can talk.
Yep.
Now, they're not allowed to talk in the courthouse, so they hold press conferences outside the courthouse. A couple of those friends were, I don't have Doug Burgum, but he was there. Have Vivek Ramaswamy, which we're going to show you his analysis of it, and as always, spot on and could not be said better. And then Speaker Mike Johnson was also there.
I
and
was
free
very
to talk
impressed
about
by
it.
that.
I was impressed by that too.
He was there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But let's get on to Vivek. You want to play him real quick here at the beginning? And this is Vivek Ramaswamy. I still think should be the vice presidential pick. That's my thought. Either him or Tim Scott. I think
I
that
would
should
not
be
have a
no
problem
other
with either one of those. You know, my favorite.
I don't think it should be any. Christy Nome can go shoot dogs. Whether you agree with the fact and why she did it and all that, that's not my point. She did it, and there's going to be a lot of people pissed off about it.
Yeah, that's going to be the whole question the whole time.
That's going to be the whole question. Her whole thing's going to be. I mean, even though Kamala Harris gave blowjobs to get where she is,
not that
don't shoot the dog.
It's been running great, running well. Anyway,
yeah. Well, I mean, you keep out the wildlife. But
the dogs are sleeping with one eye open.
I know. Here's Vivek Ramaswamy after his day in court, watching the proceedings. Here's what he had to say. I think.
Thank you. I want to thank my colleagues, Governor Burgum, Congressman Mills, and Congressman Donalds for laying out the political backdrop here. This is a politicized persecution that is nakedly apparent. What I want to do is dive a little bit deeper into what we actually learned today in that courtroom. What do we see in there? First of all, I learned a lot from being in there in person. It is one of the most depressing places I have been in my life, but it is fitting because the only thing more depressing than the environment of that courtroom is what's actually happening in there. It's straight out of a Kafka novel. The prosecution's main strategy appears to be to bore the jurors into submission. And if you look in that direction, sadly, it may appear to actually be working. Now, I would like for anybody here in the press, anybody at home, anybody in MSNBC or the media afterwards, to clearly state what exactly is the crime that Donald Trump committed. Oh, wait. We have not heard a good answer to that question. It has been vague until today. You heard Michael Cohen's testimony, after which I would say it is less clear than ever what that crime actually was. They'll say falsifying business records. Well, let's look at who did we learn falsified business records today? Get hour, 2 hours, felt like it could have been 7 hours, of Michael Cohen talking about how he falsified business records. Okay, so you have a guy who has been a perjurer in the past that is now saying he falsified business records. What is the crime that Donald Trump committed? Now, it appears to be what they might allege is some sort of bookkeeping error or whatever. The real bookkeeping that we need accounting of is Judge Merchan's own family member collecting millions of dollars as a Democratic operative, using the existence of this trial as a fundraising ploy for Democrats. This is unconscionable. Imagine if the same shoe fit the other foot. Imagine if it was Joe Biden that was on trial. You had a Republican judge whose son was collecting millions of dollars as a Republican operative. What would you all be saying? This would not be justice. This is injustice at its worst. So let's go even a layer deeper, right? Because let's go even a layer deeper, actually. The alleged crime here is supposedly, they try to point to this every day, that he does not actually use campaign funds, that he used personal funds. Well, let's get this straight. Suppose Donald Trump had used campaign funds to make a personal expense. They'd be going after him for that. So if they're going to get him going or they're going to get him coming, that is the best proof that this is a politicized sham. Let's go through it piece by piece. If you tell somebody to go buy you a suit and you want to look good on television because that'll affect the voters, the way voters vote for you, you know what? They prosecute politicians if they use campaign funds to buy a suit. If they say, go get a haircut, if you use campaign funds to get a haircut because you want to look good to the voters, they will actually prosecute you for using campaign funds for a personal expense. Yet the entire legal theory of this case, the whole case that Alvin Bragg has brought, depends on one premise for them to charge this as a felony, is that Donald Trump somehow should have used campaign campaign funds to make an allegedly personal payment. Yet if he had done that, their case against him would be even stronger. This is garbage. That is the best proof that you have that if they're going to get him Cohen or get him coming, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is a sham. This is not the United States of America. This is some third-rate banana republic. If this were happening in another country, we would be laughing at them as a sham democracy. I am ashamed as an American citizen to sit here in a courtroom watching the former leader of the free world, and let's be honest, likely next leader of the free world, sitting with the indignity in this dingy third-rate courtroom with fourth-rate prosecutors and a fifth-rate lawyer on the stand as a witness, who actually is violating attorney-client privilege left and right. Nobody's even talking about that. So this is a shame on the spirit in our country's history, but we will get through it and be stronger, because you know who ultimately actually cast the vote on this case? It's not just the jurors in that jury box. It's every one of you at home. It's every American who votes this November to say no to the weaponization of justice. And if you're at home, you may say, you know what, I don't agree with everything Donald Trump's ever said. You know what, I may not agree with some of his policies even though they were great policies for 4 years. But you do agree, whether you are Democrat or Republican or black or white or gay or straight or man or woman, that our justice system should be blind to politics. That regardless of whether your last name is Biden or Trump, regardless of whether you've been a politician or not, you get a fair shake in our own legal system. And when you have a prosecutor who campaigned on the pledge of going after Trump and then keeps his campaign pledge, when you have a judge whose kids are collecting money from Democratic operatives by fundraising off the very trial that judge is presiding over, and then telling the U.S. president that he's subject to a gag order, that he can't talk about it, that is not justice. That is a bastardization of what this country was founded on. And I'm here, and all of us are here as friends of Donald Trump, supporting him in our personal capacity, sharing our opinions. That's why we're here today. But I hope every American at home who isn't able to be in that courtroom is able to see what's actually happening there. And when you do, we will have a landslide of historic proportion this November if every American understands the injustice that's playing out in that courtroom today. So may God bless our country. I pray for our future, and let's pray for our country being stronger on the other side of this disgusting sham politician prosecution. Doug?
Yep. I didn't want to interrupt that. I did not want to interrupt that. That could not, that is presidential. That is a presidential speech. That is somebody who was on point. There's no debating what he said. That's the issue. Not one debate can be made for what he said. Everything truthful. Jim?
Yep. You remember when Hillary and some other people came out and said that President Trump is going to throw all of his enemies or whatever
in prison.
How do you call them? Political opponents. Throw them in prison, like Putin did.
Yeah.
Who's trying to do this?
Yeah, who's trying to do this?
But President Trump never did that.
No.
All right. How many times did Schumer and Pelosi come after him?
Yeah.
Every single day.
This
guy got a lot done with no assistance.
Yeah. Yep.
From the House or the Senate.
Yep. None.
But he got it done. And but it's the left. It's they want to shut him up.
They do.
Because again, you and I have talked about this many times. Politicians are allowed to do the stuff that they're accusing Donald Trump of doing.
Correct.
But damn it, when some non-politician does it, that's not right.
That's not right.
That's not right. So we're going to go after him.
Yep.
Every politician does it.
It's unbelievable.
You and I have even talked about it. There is a hush fund, right? There's a hush fund in the House.
Congress has a hush fund. Yes, to pay off people in order to protect their political careers.
Yep. He's held.
But the points made in there, the two best points to me were exactly: if you buy a suit to look better, and you buy that with campaign funds, you get prosecuted. If you get a haircut in order to look, none of this was campaign, but this was all paid to an attorney. There's zero crime, just like they said. I'm going to play Speaker Johnson. His is a few minutes long too.
Well, real quick, look at the Cori Bush of the world, and look at the AOCs that paid their boyfriends or husbands to be their security out of campaign funds.
Out of campaign funds.
They're not being investigated.
No.
But they did it wrong. They're not supposed to do that.
Correct.
Well, considering
no, they're not sitting in front of a court.
If their spouse or boyfriend had experience in security.
Yeah, correct.
They did not.
But
anyway.
Here's Speaker Johnson real quick.
I called President Trump and told him I wanted to be here myself to call out what is a travesty of justice, and I think everybody around the country can see that. President Trump is a friend, and I wanted to be here to support him. I'm here speaking with you outside because the court won't allow us to speak inside the building.
Yep.
That's just one of the many things that are wrong here. This is the fifth week that President Trump has been in court for this sham of a trial. They are doing this intentionally to keep him here and keep him off of the campaign trail.
Yep.
And I think everybody in the country can see that for what it is. The crime that they are accusing President Trump of is falsification of business records. But I think everybody knows he is not the bookkeeper for his company. Yep. President Trump is innocent of these charges. And again, anyone with common sense can understand what is happening here.
Yeah. To me, this is the craziest thing. But I've got one that I don't know if you saw, but this one's real quick, like literally like 12 seconds. But there's a New York representative, Dan Goldman. I want you to listen to what he says. He's a Democrat. He's a representative. He's in the House of Representatives. I want you to listen to this real quick. Did you ever hear this one, Jim? I don't know if you did or not. Here it is.
And I have deposed Michael Cohen. I have met with him a number of times to prepare him.
I'm sorry. What is that, Representative Goldman? Why is a sitting representative meeting with Michael Cohen to prepare him? Nothing political. I mean, he just said the quiet part out loud. Depose him. He needs to be in front of Congress answering to this. What? We know it's happening, but you don't say it out loud. And that's how these guys are douchebags and sleaze balls. And, and you don't say that shit out loud. I mean, but he did. He admitted it. I mean,
remember when Stormy Daniels was talking on the stand?
Yes.
And they were getting her to tell her what they did intimately. That had nothing to do with this trial.
Nothing to do with this trial.
They're trying to shame him. They're trying to, folks, what anybody does in the privacy, whether they pay for it, whether they do it in the privacy of their spouse, whatever. So what? There's people that have different things going on. As long as there's no children involved, okay? And Clintons leave this out. As long as there's no sex trafficked women.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
involved with it from Epstein's Island. Then do what you want. I mean,
I love how Stormy just felt so sleazy.
It was perverted.
Dirty. She's a porn star.
Yeah, it was perverted. It was that had nothing to do with anything else other than trying. They are trying to, and every time they speak, his popularity goes up, which means they're going to have to come up with more fake ballots.
Yep.
Because that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing.
Creating more work.
More work for them because they got to come up with more fake ballots.
You are going to have Obama. Can you believe this? Biden could actually be over 100 million votes. I'm just telling you.
If they put 60
President Trump's going to
illegal ballots.
He was at 70 million. Trump was 75. Over 70 million in 2020. And he's going up.
Yeah.
And this has got to scare the Democrats.
It's got to, because you can't justify 100 million for Biden. You can't, but they're going to do it. It doesn't. You couldn't justify 81 million for Biden, and they did it. So, Jim, do you got anything you want to show, or they go along with your stories? I don't know how you want to work this.
Not right now. I did.
Okay.
I want to talk about the.
We'll keep a hand. They're still cross-examining Cohen. It's really a joke, but go on. Yeah. We'll continue now. Yeah. So
I've got a couple videos because we got to hear from Hillary because we haven't heard from her in a while. And
we miss her. Yeah.
So, under Biden, federal foster care funds can be used to buy kids chest binders and strap-ons. They call them fake penises, but isn't that what a strap-on is? I mean, honestly, Anyway, the Biden administration appears to be repurposing a federal program aimed to help kids in the foster care system transition into adulthood.
Oh, okay.
Transition into adulthood, which is okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Instead, they're using taxpayers' dollars to fund efforts by children to transition to the opposite sex.
Nice.
The Biden Department of Health and Human Services. We're all familiar with that, aren't we? Says federal tax dollars can be spent towards buying personal items that include a youth's expression of gender identity, which typically refers to accessories such as chest binders and so-called packers.
Packers?
Which are prosthetic penises used by girls who want to appear like they have genitals. Folks, you can go buy them at any adult store. You can
just ask Jim.
I just don't get it.
Your VIP membership alone says that.
We are supporting strap-ons for kids. Basically, is what you're doing.
It's not funny, but I can't.
We are. I can't.
We are.
This federal dollars
can't get more bizarre, can they? Go on.
So between paying for student loans and strap-ons for children, there's no money left for anything else. So why don't we just send a bunch of strap-ons over to the Ukraine and just kind of keep the money here? I don't get it. Anyway, simple and quick.
I mean, there's going to be so many strap-ons distributed that, if I was like a sports franchise, I'd probably sponsor one, This strap-on brought to you by the Dallas Cowboys,
Or put 2 guys, 1 coup on those suckers.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
Anyway.
Jim, strap-ons. Thank you for that. And the Biden administration strikes again, with that kind of bizarre bullshit.
The country is falling apart. But hey, we're going to do this.
We are. We're going to. Yeah, this is what we're worried about. And that's why Trump's popularity continues to go up, too, because things like this are happening. And believe it, no matter how many of the bizarre, weirdo, lefty, liberal, bedwetting pussies out there you see, there's a lot more of us. So they're just louder.
Well, folks, and by the way, before anybody gets offended, I know that those fake prosthesis that they're using, they're not the strap-ons but you might as well call them that, right? Because they make them look like they have them on. That's all I'm saying.
It's a fake wiener. No, I don't care.
And
how
it's funnier when you say strap-on. It's funny.
It is strange. It's funny. So Biden wants chest binders and strap-ons. Chest binders is the right term, though. I mean,
it's when we talk about children, it's not funny per se what's going on, but it's the fact that we're spending money on this for fake penises for girls who want to look like they have male genitalia.
The fact that they got that. Fact that they got the potato in chief to sign something with just like, okay, now we're doing it. I mean, that's basically how he signs all the bills and executive orders anyways. Jim, we apparently do deal with and negotiate with terrorists. Harvard University agreed to some concessions for anti-Israel agitators in return for them dismantling the protest encampment ahead of an upcoming commencement ceremony. Both sides announced Tuesday. Well, then nice. We had a little negotiation going on at Harvard. Harvard interim president Alan Garber released a message on Tuesday morning announcing that, quote, the protesters agreed to end the encampment in Harvard. Quote, now that the area is being cleared and in line with the conversation I had with students last week, I will facilitate a meeting with the chair of the Corporation Committee on Shareholder Responsibility and other university officials to address questions about the endowment, Garber wrote. And in keeping with my commitment to ongoing and reasoned dialogue, the dean of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences and I will meet with the students to hear their perspectives on academic matters related to long-standing conflicts in the Middle East. The deal was reached with the student protest group Harvard Out of Occupied Palestine, also known as HOOP. They're so cute. Which said in a statement that the encampment outlasted its utility with respect to our demands. Encampments are a tactic, a big and beautiful one, and a larger strategy of divestment. Here at Harvard, we believe the utility of this tactic has passed, and we have decided to regroup and carry out this protracted struggle through other means. The group said in another statement shared on social media, quote, as a precondition of decamping, administration will retract suspensions. Administration has also offered us meetings regarding disclosure and divestment with members of the Harvard Management Company and conversations regarding the establishment of the Center for Palestine Studies at Harvard. Well, very good, Harvard. Way to go. I don't even, I can't even, and I think you heard Wayne Black the other day say, here's what happened, should have happened. The first tent goes up, cops come in, tear it down. You're all getting arrested if you do this. Oh, but we can't have that because that'll be another Kent State. That's another Kent State. We got to let the students be. I'm so sick of these entitled, whiny bitches. I can't take them anymore. I can't take them.
And
so we negotiate with
terrorists,
terrorists, for obviously.
They'll be coming soon. You'll be paying for their student loans too.
And strap-ons.
Now might give good time to play the videos from Lindsey Graham and the professor at New York University.
Oh, good one. Let's do that. Let's do that. So Lindsey Graham questions the is it the professor? A professor at New York University? Nope. Oh,
New York. He is questioning the defense secretary. The secretary of
defense secretary. That's right, Austin. You're right. Here it is. Let's watch.
Do you believe Iran really wants to kill all the Jews if they could? The Iranian regime, yeah. Do you believe Hamas is serious when they say we'll keep doing it over and over again? Do you agree that they will if they can?
I do. Hamas,
okay, right. Do you believe that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization also bent on the destruction of the Jewish state?
Hezbollah is a terrorist organization.
Okay, so Israel's been hit in the last few weeks by Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas, dedicated to their destruction. And you're telling me you're going to tell them how to fight the war and what they can and can't use when everybody around them wants to kill all the Jews? And you're telling me that if we withhold weapons in this fight, the existential fight for the life of the Jewish state, it won't send the wrong signal?
Every once in a while, he makes
Lindsey Graham does something intelligent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, this one is very powerful from the New York University professor because you and I have kind of hinted to similar like that, but he said it much better than we ever could have.
He did. So here it is. So this is exactly what it is. And I believe this was on Bill Maher. Am I wrong? Could have been.
I believe it was, yeah.
I think Don Lemon was on with it, too. So here it is.
It looked like him.
But the double standard here is pretty striking. Dylan Roof goes into a Charleston church and kills 9 members of a black church. If I went down to the plaza of any of these universities with a white hood, a Confederate flag, and signs and started saying, Dylan, globalized Dylan, kill black people.
Right.
There'd be no need for context. We wouldn't be talking about free speech. I'd be out of academia. And if I whipped up students into a frenzy such that we started harassing non-white students on their way to the library, and I started getting in their face or even throwing things at them, and that has happened, we wouldn't be having a conversation about the First Amendment. We'd call in the fucking National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
What is clear to me is that free speech is at its freest when it's hate speech against Jews.
Yep. 100%. 100%. That's it. That's when free speech is at its freest. And he is absolutely right about it. Unbelievable that this is still going on. I mean, yeah, he said it better than anybody, I think, can say it. It's true. It's true. We wouldn't be having a conversation and calling the National Guard if
not
he
at all.
Whip up a friend. That's how it would be.
So remember
Jews,
what the fascist movement in Europe was all about from Italy and Germany.
Yep.
To remove the Jewish people from the earth. That's what.
Yep. Correct. That's what it was all about. At any rate, and now we know, thanks to Wayne Black, the Muslim Brotherhood met with Hitler back in World War II.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been going on a while, folks. Right? Jim, you say another Dem flip flops. What is who is that?
It's another vulnerable House Democrat.
Oh boy,
Representative Ryan McKenzie will face off against Representative Susan Wild in Pennsylvania.
Oh, she lost already. Votes.
Well, all these years.
Yeah.
Ready? All these years, she's been saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing to see here. Nothing wrong with immigration. She might be changing it back a little bit.
No.
A vulnerable Congress Democrat in the key battle state of Pennsylvania who previously dismissed a border wall as silly appears to have shifted her views on immigration, according to a recent op-ed calling for stricter border security. And she's been seeing what has been going on with the American people. It doesn't take much, folks. And she's losing.
Just open your eyes.
We may be a long way from the U.S.-Mexico border, but the problems created by a broken system affect us too, particularly with regard to the entry of illegal drugs into our country, she said. Wild's op-ed, which was headlined Your View by U.S. Representative Susan Wild, it's time to do something about the southern border, comes after immigration has spiraled under Biden administration, nearly 7.3 million illegal immigrants. We're seeing anywhere from 10 million to 30 million.
They're just throwing numbers out there now.
Yeah, I know. Between Biden's first day of office in February this year to now, okay? The figure is greater than the population of 36 individual states.
Yeah.
And has affected states across the nation. So now she thinks it's a problem. Why does she think it's a problem? Because she looks at these little thing called polls.
We're not talking about polls.
She sees that, I'm losing because of that.
Yep.
I think it's okay to kill babies, and I'm doing really well there because they like to kill babies, right? But I'm really hurting
on this level.
So I'm going to change.
An about face. Anyway. That's what they do.
So another Democrat flip-flop. So now we're saying, where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you when Mike Johnson, even though they didn't have to because there was already a law in place, when they were trying to say, this is what we're going to do. Let's put more money at the border. Put more money at the border. Nope.
Correct.
Nope. But we're going to build a wall in the Ukraine, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to protect them. Of course we are. You know, that's what they do. Jim, of course they flip-flop. Speaking of that, real quick, I got a story on the lesser known terrorist group that's kind of fueling protests in the U.S. But Kamala Harris, I think, is starting an insurrection, and I want to play that little 12-second clip of her. Let's listen to Vice President Kamala Harris. So very vice presidential.
We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down. Excuse my language.
You know what's sad? People tried to on January 6th and they're thrown in jail.
Yeah,
sorry.
Kamala. What doors are they going to effing kick down now? And is that an insurrection? It came right out of her babbling. I won't say anymore. Came out of her babbling mouth.
I know.
You know?
When something's
could that be
not
considered
going
an
in.
insurrection if we start going around kicking doors down? I know.
Yeah. It's insane. They can do it. The AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib have been calling for this type of stuff all the time.
Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters is one of them.
Yep.
And it's okay when they do it. Again.
Sure.
I said it many times. Why is President Trump being held to different standards?
Yep.
Than every
and
other
there he
politician?
is sitting in jail. Or sitting in court, I mean.
Yep.
There he is. And then we got Kamala.
What's really cool, we get to hear from Kamala and President Hillary Clinton.
Oh, we do? You want Hillary right now before I do it? Or does that go along with the story?
It doesn't go along with any story, but I just want, sometimes we have to have Hillary's insight.
We do.
We just have to.
Here's
I want you to pay attention to this, okay? All you listeners. listen to what she's saying about an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay.
This is all about power, how to get it, how to keep it, how not to give it up. That is so opposite of everything we believe or should believe in our country about how we are a nation of laws, not of men. And they are men who try to put themselves above the law, try to hang on to power. The Supreme Court is doing our country a grave disservice in not deciding the case about immunity. And what we heard when this case was tried before the Supreme Court.
Sorry. I can't stop looking at her neck-gina. Anyways, I'm moving on.
To my ear at least, were efforts to try to find loopholes, to try to create an opportunity for Trump to have attempted to overturn an election, to have carried out hundreds and hundreds of pages of very highly classified material for his own amusement, interest, trading, we don't know what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Proven that they were planted.
She destroyed servers.
33,000 emails.
She melted them down.
Hammered them. Smashed them. Cell phones.
But he's having these documents that we now know.
We now know.
We're not really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which every president's allowed to take. Anyway, let her finish.
And was she ever president? So I'm just wondering.
But
okay,
what's funny is that, he talks about the election and trying to be stolen. And anyway.
Yeah. That purple suit is she looks like Barney the dinosaur, except she's older.
As usual.
Yep.
These are very serious charges against any American, but someone who's both been a president and wants to be a president again, that should cause any voter to think not twice, but many, many times over about whether we should entrust our country to him.
And again, Morning Joe did not follow that up with any.
Of course not. They just let her babble.
In 2016.
Yeah. What about? Of course not.
Anyway,
my God.
I just love lefts. They're hilarious.
The bags under her eyes you could go on a long vacation with and pack a lot.
She was president before Bush, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that was her husband. I'm sorry.
Wait a second. You think her husband was? Mm-hmm. Jim. That's. Yeah, she was
getting numbers.
She was in charge. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. Well, it was her money. It was the Rodham money. It wasn't the Clinton money. The old Hilljack Bill Clinton. He didn't come from money.
That was a marriage of convenience right there.
It sure was. And boy, has it been convenient, except for all those that have been murdered. Allegedly.
What?
Allegedly.
Yeah, thank you. You got to say allegedly.
Clinton
because
Foundation.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have.
All right? When you shoot yourself in the chest with a shotgun, sometimes it doesn't work.
And sometimes you got to drive your way to a tree.
Drive out to the woods and hang yourself.
Yes, after the gunshot wound to your chest.
Happens all the time.
I mean, I'm telling you, there are anomalies, and miracles do happen. But anyways, Jim, there's a lesser-known terrorist group that's fueling protests in the U.S., the Marxist-Leninist terrorist organization Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine has maintained an influential role in the post-October 7th anti-Israel movement. Probably not surprising to anybody, but you don't hear about them. While observers and counter-protests have kept a watch on the well-known green or yellow of Hamas or Hezbollah paraphernalia among the anti-Israel protests and campus encampments that erupted across the United States of America and the rest of the world following October 7th massacre, the red flags of another terrorist organization have taken greater prominence among pro-Palestine activists. The Marxist-Leninist terrorist organization Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine has maintained an influential role, offering training sessions and seminars, lending manpower to other groups' events, and organizing their own protests within Western nations. The PFLP is designated as a terrorist organization in many states, including the U.S., European Union, and Canada. The PFLP gained notoriety in the 60s and 70s for airplane hijackings, coinciding with the wave of communist terrorism that affected the world, but Islamic Palestine terrorist organizations have captured attention since the wars in Gaza. So there you go. There's another group. We talk about Antifa. We know they're there. And of course, they may also be part of that. The Antifa group. Of course, we know that they're anti-fascist, except they're communist. So,
well, they're anti-fascist.
Well, they're anti-fascist, I guess. Pure out communists and dictatorships. But that was an interesting article, and I want to thank Wayne Black because he sent that. And I had not heard about that, so I appreciate him sending that. But I thought that was an interesting take on another organization that we do not hear that is contributing. Well, we know the money, we know the funding is coming from George Soros, who is also communist and anti-Western civilization. So Jim, that's what I wanted to go in there. Now you wanted to say something about Biden agreeing with Trump.
Yeah. Well,
and they're going to have debates, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that
I know.
ain't happening.
Yeah.
Biden administration announced plans to put new tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, advanced batteries, solar cells, steel, aluminum, and medical equipment. An election year move.
An election
that is
year
likely
statement
to increase friction between the world's largest economies. Remember when he did this? When President Trump did it, and it was bad?
He was a xenophobe, wasn't he?
It was bad. Yep. Now it's good.
Now it's good.
Okay.
Now it's good.
It's not, our gas-powered vehicles, which he's completely destroyed the gas-powered sedans in this country, right?
He sure has.
Can you find one anymore?
Yeah, hardly.
They're going. Kia, I still think makes them. Hyundai makes them.
Well, I'm saying foreign ones, but you find a Ford sedan, find a Buick sedan. I guess they still technically make them
because he talked them all into going with these EVs, which they're slowing down because they can't sell enough of them.
That's correct.
And China's found a way to get in at $12,000 for these things. $12,000 for these EVs. Remember, this all went back to the Trump bloodbath.
Yeah, I know.
Remember the term bloodbath because they were building plants in Mexico.
Yes, correct.
To supply the cheap vehicles into the U.S. Yep. And we know it costs more than $12,000 to make them.
Oh, yeah.
But it's worth it for China to ruin us. See, China has been doing that all along. They've been selling the drugs to make fentanyl undervalued because they don't care. They want to destroy America. That's what they want to do.
Yep.
And they're using people like
and it started with goods and services. It started with goods and services.
Biden to do it, and they've done it. But he is going to increase the tariffs on China.
No, he's not.
But I know privately he's talked to them. I'm not really going to do it. I'm just going to say I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to do it.
That'll probably be coming up in a speech somewhere on his teleprompter. I'm going to raise tariffs, but I'm not.
Oh, pause.
Speak to China in code. I will not, China. He's never going to do it. It's a nice campaign speech. If elected, I promise more tariffs on this. No, liar. Yep. Absolute liar. Jim, let's get into Ohio. Ohio, the Buckeye State, one of the greatest states in the nation, by the way. Let's admit, minus the southern western portion of it. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose ordered the state's voter rolls to be purged.
The Queen City.
Hey, this doesn't apply. They're in Kentucky. Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose ordered the state's voter rolls to be purged of non-citizens Tuesday after a review found more than 100 Ohio residents. Yes.
Say that again. What are they taking off the rolls?
I know. For those in San Francisco, purged of non-citizens.
They shouldn't have been on.
They were on the rolls.
They shouldn't have been on there. Anyway.
More than 100 Ohio residents who were registered to vote despite lacking U.S. citizenship. An investigation by Ohio's Public Integrity Division analyzed data from the state's Bureau of Motor Vehicles and found 137 people who appeared on voter rolls despite twice confirming they were not a U.S. citizen. Ohio Ohio law requires that in order for a person to be removed from voter rolls, they must have confirmed their lack of citizenship to the BMV, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, on 2 separate occasions, and also have updated their voter registration or voted in between the 2 occasions. These individuals will receive at least 2 written notices from the Secretary of State's office asking them to confirm their citizenship status or cancel their registration. Failure to
These
respond.
are people that broke the law to come into this country.
To come in this country. Yeah, they're worried about this. Failure to respond to these notices will result in removal of the registration from the voter rolls by the County Board of Elections, LaRoe's office told Fox News Digital in a statement. The improper voting registration could result in prosecution for some, but LaRoe's cautioned that not all instances are criminal. With that, I got to agree with, because they're being handed this. We found this out, right? You're being handed this. Oh, what are you going to do? You're going to sign it. They don't care. They don't care what they're signing. It doesn't matter to them. And then they're put on the voter rolls. And now Ohio's cleaning those up. To me, Ohio isn't technically in play for red or blue. I think they're pretty solidly red at this point.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's going to take a lot to change it.
But it's weird because, to me, I think that's where they're going to do it more. I think they're going to Texas for sure. They're going to, because they're already telling us how close the races could be in Texas, right? So they're gonna try to take Texas away, because all the polling in Michigan and even Pennsylvania and Georgia and Nevada and Arizona is all leaning Trump. Very much so leaning Trump's way. Well, they can't use those states anymore. So now we're going to have to go find others. And that's where I think these voter rolls are going to be a big problem.
If Governor Abbott and the people running the state of Texas were not conservative, I'd be very worried about Texas.
Well, of course,
I'm not worried about Texas because I think they're going to clean that shit up. I do.
I think they will too, but I think they're trying. Where are they going to get it doesn't matter on popular vote. It doesn't matter. He could have 100 million and only have 268 electoral votes, right?
Right.
Huh? So
he's going to win.
So they're going to have to get the states with the big electoral college votes. And if they're losing the Michigans and the Ohio's and the Georgias and even Nevada and Arizona, I mean, you're talking 11, electorals and stuff like that, but they're going to have to put them somewhere else, I think they're very concerned that they can't cheat enough. You know what I mean? I think that's a big concern, like we have mentioned, that they just can't cheat enough. But good for you, Ohio. At least you're doing it. It's out in the open. Every state should be doing this. Of course, there will only be 28 states that do it, probably, because California's not going to do it. Hell, they can't even find $20 billion that they spent on the homeless, while the homeless population has increased. So
we know Washington, Oregon,
Oh,
California,
they're done. Yeah,
Illinois, New York. Forget it. It's just not.
It's just not happening. Yep. Yeah. It's just not happening there.
In Minnesota,
so Maryland,
I know
all those
some
states
people.
are,
Some people are saying Minnesota's in play. It's not. It is not.
They just changed their state flag, and it looks awful lot like the Somalian flag. Did you see that?
So yeah, I did. So they're not. Yeah, they're not. There
wasn't a vote about it either. Go on.
Right. And they're going to have to. The funny thing about all this is they don't have COVID. So these mail-in ballots, these distribution centers, these data collection centers, they don't need to exist anymore because they're not needed, right?
Correct.
And so I'm just curious to see how this happens. I'm more to there won't be an election. That's where I'm leaning because something's going to. That's where I'm leaning mostly. And the more he grows, the lead, okay, President Trump grows that lead. There's something I feel is going to happen. Something. And it's just like Wayne Black said, we just pray for his safety every day.
Well, I'd say they need to double his
because that's the next thing.
Detail.
That's the next thing they're going to do. Yep. And it's sad that we're here. And I challenge everybody. If we've talked about this, right? Everyone, there's still people out there that thinks the election wasn't stolen. All right, even though 2,000 mules drew the vote with
a lot of rhinos are saying it.
With Engelbrecht and then the parallel election with Greg and Leah.
Yep.
Right. We know it's out there, and they won a court case. Leah and Greg did. So it's out there. So we move on from that. So I challenge everybody that says that it never happened in 2020.
Yeah.
So I challenge you to stand up with us today. Demand the states to fix the voter rolls. Okay. Demand that you have proper identification when you vote.
Yep.
Demand that no illegal is allowed to vote. Stand up with us today. If you think there was no cheating in 2020,
correct.
If you think that, stand up with us and fight.
That's right. Yep, fight it.
Because in a fair election, this is not even close. Not
even close, and it wasn't in 2020. It was not in 2020. His popularity was massive in 2020, and even bigger today. So we'll see. Jim, student loan rates. Why? I don't understand. Why would they go up?
I didn't see this coming.
None of this makes sense to me, Jim.
Because who does student loans now? The federal government.
The government.
Right.
Thank you, Obama.
Now, you can still do private loans, I guess. You can still do that. But, what really made this student loan thing a mess is when Obama put it to the government.
Correct.
Because it was competition before. You can go to any bank you wanted to get a student loan. This was offering 5%. This was offering 4.2%. I'm going here. Right? It was out there. Now it's not. Anyway, the U.S. Department of Education announced Tuesday that the interest rates on federally backed student loans will increase to 6.53% for the 2024-2025 academic year.
Wow.
According to the analysis of student loan expert Mark Kantrowitz, borrowers will be paying the highest interest rates for undergraduate loans in more than a decade.
Suspiciously weird that this is happening.
The current interest rate for the undergraduate loan right now currently is 6.5%. That is a 1% increase.
Unbelievable. Is that Bidenomics or is it just strictly because he paid all those loans and they need their money back?
I think your next story is Bidenomics.
It is
another. Okay,
it is
because I think I know what it is. Because I was thinking about doing that, but anyway,
where are you
now? Postgraduate is going to 9%.
Oh,
from 8 to 9%.
Yeah.
Which goes into that study reveals that 43% of master's degree programs fail to deliver financial returns. Well, because what do schools want their teachers to do?
Yeah.
Get master's degree.
Well, they want so the professors. You mean you're talking about what they want their professors?
Well, no, high school. In schools. In high school.
Oh, in high schools? They're telling the students?
Yeah, they want it. Now, they do get a pay increase if they get that, but it doesn't match what you got to pay for in master's.
Oh, you're not getting that. Yeah, correct.
So,
wow.
Because, again, this is just me, some stupid schmo, okay?
Yep, you got that right.
I'm thinking about getting a bachelor's or a master's degree because I got the bachelor's degree. And I said to myself, why would I get a master's degree? Is it going to help me?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. I mean, is it going to help you? No. All it does is look good that I have it. It's not going to help
you
if
over the cost of what you have to pay. But if you don't have to pay for it, Jim, because your student loans are forgiven, then hell, master's, doctorate,
first
you name
of all, let's be clear.
It.
Anybody that has a job,
Obama says.
Anybody that has a job isn't going to qualify for this.
Oh,
they're not.
Well, then why work?
Because what really makes me mad
another
is
incentive not to work.
I have arguments with family members. Okay, they've shown me these reports when President Obama came out and said that we are not going to hold student loans against your economics isn't going to have anything to do with it.
Yep.
So they showed me these articles that's saying that no, that's not going to happen, and I had to show them mine for my children. Who didn't qualify for nearly enough to pay for their school.
Correct. Yep.
So I'm sorry. They do again. The party of fair isn't so fair.
Well, of course not. Yeah. Anyways,
but
do you want do you want to name these family members out by name or not at all? Oh. Okay.
Oh no, not at all.
Someday.
But all I know is. Now, it doesn't say this in the article, but you and I are very intelligent to be able to figure out why it's going up.
It's just
that money's got to be collected from somewhere.
Gee, I ponder.
But AOC said, AOC who just
Yeah.
said that,
Yeah.
man, you're going to be able to go back to school if you want.
Yeah.
Well, now you're
and
gonna have
go
to
on
pay more.
vacations and buy a house.
And now you're going to have to, are you able to travel the world now?
I'm not able to travel
I
very
paid
far.
for my loans. I paid for my loans, student loans, many years ago.
Yeah, many
and
years
I've not left this. I've been to Canada.
Oh yeah,
Is that considered a world traveler? I don't know.
Is that a world traveler? Yeah, I guess so.
I'm thinking, if you're worried about paying your student loans,
yeah,
first thing you're going to do is go to Europe.
Of course, to find themselves
again.
Yeah,
this is how stupid she is.
Chest binders and strap-ons are cheaper in Europe.
New York with Kathy Hochul, who obviously hates black people.
Well, apparently,
you guys are a mess.
Yeah.
A complete mess.
Absolutely complete mess. Jim,
congratulations, students.
I love the fact that the students are doing this. I have this to say now. Do you like your biscuits cheddared, Jim? Yes or no?
I love those biscuits.
Yeah. Bidenomics strikes again. We'll get them soon because Red Lobster is closing nearly 120 restaurants. Now, some would say in 27 states, plans to file
You can't order this on
bankruptcy.
Amazon, by the way.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can get their
can't
cheddar
order surf and
biscuits
turf on Amazon.
You can get their cheddar biscuits in stores in the box. They are
Not surf and
equally
turf.
as delicious. Huh? Not sir.
Not
No.
their Admiral's feast. You can't.
Yeah. So some would
Go
say,
ahead.
well, thank God. Because it's weird when you have real seafood and then you go to Red Lobster. There's quite the difference. Okay, there really is, and I get it. It's commercial seafood. It's like Little Caesars or a good New York pizza place. There's just a difference, right? And I like pizza. So the popular seafood chain has began the process of closing 127 locations in 27 states. As of Tuesday, the Red Lobster website listed the affected locations as closed, according to a report by Fox 59. States include California, Florida, New York, Iowa, and Illinois were among those hit by the unexpected closures. In Danville, Illinois, Mayor Ricky Williams Jr. wasn't he was a good running back.
I don't think
took to Facebook to express his dismay. And no wonder he's mad. Because he smokes weed, so he's always hungry. That's probably not the same Ricky Williams. I'm just saying. Allegedly.
I'm just, Red Lobster's a little expensive for just getting the munchies. I'm telling you.
You go and get some cheddar biscuits and some of their appetizers. I was just notified by one of our local Red Lobster managers that after 31 years of serving our community without notice, their parent company laid off the entire crew and closed the restaurant effective immediately. This is despite the fact that they were rated number 15 out of over 600 stores for customer service and satisfaction last year. They also shuttered nearly 120 other stores without notice, Williams added. The parent company's abrupt decision to shutter these locations comes as it prepares to auction off more than 50 sites across the country. Tag X Brands, a restaurant liquidation company, has announced that it will oversee the sale of equipment from the closed restaurant, describing it as the largest restaurant equipment auction ever. However, only 48 locations are specifically listed in the catalog, Fox News reported. Bidenomics working hard again for you. These are but honestly, and whether you like Red Lobster or don't, just pick your favorite restaurant chain, not just restaurant chain, and have it closed down in your area. And then tell me Bidenomics is working. A lot of people love Red Lobster. I'm not the biggest fan of Red Lobster, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Go on.
Well, just leave it to that mayor on the left to blame Red Lobster.
Oh, I know. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Without a update, so it's all Red Lobster's fault. Yeah, you're right, Jim. Good point. Good point. I wasn't even thinking that, and when I was looking at this, but it is clearly not Red Lobster's fault that people can't afford. And you're right. Red Lobster is not the cheapest thing in the world, right?
Look at where they're located.
And
Florida
look where they're located.
Me, but
yeah, very true. Yep. Yeah, it's very true. So, but I also have one other thing that I want to talk about, Jim. and I want to show you this video. Are you familiar with this? Take a look at it. Are you familiar with this?
I heard.
Have you seen it? So the portal, right? There's a video portal from New York City to Dublin, Ireland. And you can see people back and forth. They can see New York City. I think it's an amazing idea. I really do. I think it's really, really cool. And you're seeing it here. So you're looking at New York there in Dublin, or New York and Dublin. Well, I think that's a great idea, except the visual art portal in New York City that you just saw, the live streams continuously to connect New Yorkers with their counterparts in Dublin, Ireland, will temporarily shut down after what, Jim? Inappropriate behavior by some troublemakers. Never saw this coming. The art sculpture that connects the two cities is located on 23rd Street and 5th Avenue in Manhattan and allows people in Dublin, Ireland to see what is going on in New York in real time and vice versa. People have connected by offering greetings, messages, and other salutations. Again, I think it's a great idea. I do. There's been a 0.1% interaction that includes some hateful messages, some nudity, and that ruins it for everyone, says James Madam, president of the Flatiron Nomad Partnership, who operates the portal. Jim, what say you?
Damn New Yorkers.
So why don't you think it's the Irish? Hey,
didn't you just say it was New York mostly? Because
well, I don't know. You know, look at my titties.
The Irish probably come out naked because they're drunk or something. I don't know.
Look at my titties.
But who didn't see this coming? I mean, honestly.
Yep, they're working closely with the. Of course, they're working closely with the portal team and the city council in Ireland to figure out ways to make sure we can continue to show this. I honestly, I think it's really a cool idea. I think, I'm not a big unity and everybody get along, we should all get along kind of thing, but I think strategically placed, and I don't want to see from here over to Gaza Strip. I don't think that's going to be a good portal. But I think if we can connect people this way in a common cause, maybe the world gets better, right? I mean, I don't know. I want to believe the world can get better, right? Not under these regimes.
We do need
I understand.
To have that in the Gaza Strip and show the gays for Palestine shows what happens to homosexuals when you're over in those countries.
Again, could be used for that. Could be used for that.
To see that.
Could be used for that, to show that Palestine beheads gays and homosexuals over there. Maybe we could show that.
Maybe.
It says while we cannot control all of these actions, we're implementing some technical solutions to address. I don't know. I mean, other than shutting it down, what's the technical solution? But I mean, it is true. I mean, you think, of course, people were going to do this. It's sad that people were, because they just can't help themselves, right? The people in general in the world suck. People in general suck. They're misguided buffoon human beings, and they're going to do stuff like this. I, for one, if I saw some Irish boobs, I'd be like, yeah, like pour me a Guinness. I mean, I like let's, I think it would, but
well, if you want to see some Irish boobs, watch their soccer team. Sorry.
I said boobs, not the other sexual organ.
I'm sorry.
No. The structure was closed Sunday after an OnlyFans model flashed her breasts to the portal. I thought the people of Dublin deserved to see 2 New York homegrown potatoes, Ava Louise said in a video.
Really?
She posted on Instagram that shows her raising her tank top in front of the portal.
Bet you she got her likes up.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what it's all about. And I know that. But come on, just some constraint.
Just keep your clothes on.
Keep your clothes on. Unless there's kids on the other side. There's, you know what I mean? It's a cool idea. Basically all it is a video that transmits it back and forth, and everyone.
I mean, thankfully,
but it's super cool idea.
Thankfully, I have never thought to take my clothes off in front of you on the show. Never thought about that.
Lord knows we thank God every day that
I
doesn't
said,
happen.
thankfully.
On the other hand, I'm praying it happens. So I don't understand. I don't know which. I'm conflicted. We've got a portal.
Wait till we go. Wait till we go
CNNG.
live on TikTok.
Oh, we can go live here on Riverside. Jim, as we're recording, we can do that. Jim, that's what I have today. I don't know if you have anything else to add. I didn't ask.
Well, real quick, I did want to add. You know
So
what
that's it,
the
nothing? Okay, go
one real quick thing.
Mhm.
Do you want to know what these protests on these college campuses has caused?
Higher
A Palestinian columnist, excuse me, Palestinian columnist. We do not want a ceasefire. We want ongoing war. Palestinian journalist Samir al-Baroudi, writing in the Qatari daily Al-Watan, as translated by the Middle East Research Center, made a case for war to continue to means to highlight. And what she highlighted is, thanks to the spectacular violence and to protests in the West, the free world is united behind Palestine.
Oh, my God.
Way to go, you spoiled shits.
Ask
Way
any
to go.
of these assholes to show me on the map the country of Palestine. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This is what the spoiled shits do.
You should be proud of yourselves, folks.
Oh,
you
should
be,
they not?
Not folks, but the kids on those campuses, you should be proud of yourself because you are giving Palestine a reason to continue to fight.
Continue the war.
Palestine's not fighting, I thought.
Nope.
I thought Palestine wasn't fighting. I thought it was Hamas. Huh.
I thought it was Hamas too. But I didn't think it was Palestine.
So is there a difference, guys?
None. Zero. I'm trying to look and see if there's any headlines that we can talk about right before we go. And I'm not seeing anything more about the trial at this point. Here we go. Pro-Trump conservative Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico shot in public. Stood up against Ukraine war and WHO global pandemic. This just in. So I don't know that. I'm literally going to have the prime minister, Slovakian prime minister, shot in public. It's what we're talking about, Jim.
Yep.
It's this. This is the kind of violence we're talking about. So that is just coming out. So I don't know more about that. What else is going on here? Just so I know, Biden and Trump accept CNN's invitation to debate on June 27th. Trump takes the gloves off and rips crooked Joe Biden. So it'll be on CNN. I'm sure that will be a fair
There is no way
debate.
That's going through.
Yeah, there's no way it's going through.
That's gonna.
No, you know why? Because they're going to try to tie a felon next to his name, and that felon will give them the out for not wanting. I'm not debating a felon. That's what you know what I'm saying? Something's going to happen. Rhino dirtbag Mike Gallagher cashes out, joins Microsoft-backed VC firm as strategic advisor. I'm not sure.
Michael Gallagher?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Mike Gallagher. Turncoat. Mike Pence demands taxpayers bail out his embarrassing presidential campaign, has over $1.3 million in unpaid debts.
I don't think so.
Your man. Mike Pence. Yep.
Bro.
Yeah, well, used to be your man.
You pissed a lot of people off when you.
And here we go. Former porn star Stormy Daniels' husband says family will leave U.S. if Trump is acquitted in hush money case. Here we go again. Everyone's going to leave the U.S.
Let's get a GoFundMe for them to go.
I'll be happy to pay for them. I would. I'm not paying Mike Pence's failed presidential and turncoat, shit and run back to him at all, but I will pay for these people to leave the country. That's for sure. Thanks to Joe Biden, Al-Qaeda terrorist network now moving back into Afghanistan as we knew they were.
Of course.
Al-Qaeda.
I mean,
Al-Qaeda's moving back in. Taliban, Al-Qaeda, pick me out the difference.
Did you see the thing on Babylon B?
No.
They said that the Biden administration said they're not going to sell American equipment to Israel to be. So Israel's going to buy it from the Taliban.
God, I love them. Oh, spot on. Jim, hey, guess what? Next week, folks, we're going to have for you an interview. I'm super looking forward to this.
It's been a while since we talked to him.
Yeah, well, no. Who are you talking about?
Oh, this is a different one?
So listen, my friend. Next week we will have JJ Carroll, former senior Border Patrol agent, on the show. We will continue the conversation on illegals and how that's affecting the voter rolls, apparently, and everything else in this country and the safety of the country. We also will be interviewing Judge John Wilson, who wrote the book Making a Martyr. It's a judge who wrote a book about what they're doing to Donald Trump. And we're going to get the judge's opinion on this, on every scam and sham case that is out there. And I'm sure he has a good opinion about it. So look forward to that. Those are 2 interviews coming next week. We had a special air Wednesday, just a different special. And it's with our friend of the show, John Curley. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that, listen to that. If you don't know anything about the whole man versus bear thing, it really is a stupid question, but it's blown up and it's gone viral on TikTok and X and did I say TikTok and X and all that. It's really telling, but there's deeper reasons for it. And John, as always, has something to say about that kind of thing and has a take on it. So please listen to that special episode we had this week. And of course, listen to this. And what else should people do when they listen to this, Jim? Right after you should
follow, and share on Rumble
and YouTube, and also give us reviews
YouTube,
where give us a review
everywhere. You can get us on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, wherever you find it. Please do 5 stars. I mean,
if you find Jim to be offensive sometimes, let us know that, because I'm sure that's probably the case.
I'm gonna wager one little bet.
Are you? What is that?
No, I guess I have said some things that probably might have pretty offensive. So okay,
you've offended people. Sure, you've offended people.
Like the ones who think that you shouldn't be able to give strap-ons to minors. I think you should be able to.
And if they're offended, boy, that says a lot about them. And offense is only their feeling. You can't control their feelings, Jim. Their feelings are their feelings.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I don't, the feelings is why this country is in a mess right now.
That's right, because we have to cater to all their widow feeweeds.
It started with the everybody gets a trophy group.
Yeah, you got that right. That's when we knew it was going to hell. Everybody gets a trophy. Now we have now those kids have grown up and are now fighting for gays for Palestine,
which they have no idea what it is.
No idea what it is. Can't even spell Palestine, and they're Harvard students. Jim, that's all I got this week, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim, for your contribution. As always, it is called 2 Guys, 1 Coup, not 1 guy, 1 coup.
You do 90% of the work, though.
Jim. It is 2 Guys, 1 Coup. I would have it no other way. Although I do 90% of the work. It's fine. It's fine. It's more like 1 7/8 guys, 1/8 guy, 1 coup. It just didn't have a good ring to it, so we didn't name it that. But Jim, you're the best. I appreciate it. Follow Jim on TikTok at JD757.
Posted my first video.
Posted his first video. Yeah, he posted his first video. It's very exciting, and you can go watch that and like it, and then follow him, please, so we can get to 1,000 followers. I think we're 976 shy or somewhere around there, aren't we? Of 1,000.
Yeah, but
on TikTok
but the point is where I started with 3. Okay,
that's right. Look at that. So you take percentage wise, and it's been a great percentage improvement.
And I know, look, I'm going to get obviously this one that I posted. There's going to be some haters. So
yeah, maybe if it reaches them, that's the point. The whole algorithm thing, Jim. We'll figure it out. We'll get you there. Again, follow Jim, and then remember our folks at Freedom Ring Apparel, Grit Care, the Warrior Shield Foundation, Lock and Load Coffee. Everybody else out there that we try to support and all that. Throw your money there to these people. That's who deserves it. That's who deserves it.
Please also give to the Stormy Daniels Fund.
Move out of it. Yeah, forget all the others we mentioned. Yeah, please.
And George Clooney. And who else?
And Julia Roberts and all that. Yes, they can all go to hell now. Jim, that's it. I'm done today. We, folks, will talk to you next week. Until then, have a great weekend. Jim, I say goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim. Remember, you can watch on YouTube and Rumble and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and it helps others find us when searching for podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Just search for Two Guys, One Coup. That's the number 2, guys, and the number 1, Coup, C-O-U-P. Thanks again for listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast, and God bless the United States of America.